How's it going, everybody? Dieter Kurtenbach here in the East Bay. Warriors just beat the Philadelphia 76ers 120 to 117. I'm not sure if it was a good game, but it was certainly competitive, and it might be a preview of the NBA Finals. Let's hope that those games are played a little bit better than this one. Let's go over the three things we need to learn from this game. We'll go through them quick. One, with no Klay Thompson and no Kevon Looney, the Warriors stars needed to step up. Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and particularly DeMarcus Cousins. It wasn't the most efficient night for Curry or Durant, but they played well. They did their job. But Boogie really stepped through on the offensive end tonight. 25 points for Boogie, a couple of just jaw-droppingly awesome plays from DeMarcus Cousins in the low post. You can see him getting better every game. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now. But man, really tonight, he took it to another level on the offensive end. The problem, of course, is still the defense. And the Sixers were just attacking him time and time and time again. And it's becoming a bit of a problem, not just in the pick and roll stuff, which is obvious, but the little stuff. Things like over-pursuing on a shot contest, things like falling off too much when you know the guy's going to shoot. It's the little things of defense that make so many players on the Warriors great. And we'll talk about one in a second. That he just hasn't clicked through, and it's hard to imagine a circumstance where those things are going to set in. Boogie had his best offensive night, I would argue, as a Warrior. He was still a negative player in this game. At a certain point, the Warriors are going to have to start scheming to cover up for those deficiencies, because even when he's good, he's not bringing necessarily positivity to the Warriors, and as these games become more and more important for the opponents, not the Warriors, you're going to see more and more targeting of DeMarcus Cousins. The Sixers did it a lot to a lot of success on Saturday night. We've seen it done time and time again leading up to this. Teams are going to see the tape. They're going to realize how they can be successful, and they're not going to care about aesthetics. They're going to run the same play over and over and over again. And right now, the best play that you can run against the Golden State Warriors is going right at DeMarcus Cousins and making him make a play on defense. He can do it, but he hasn't shown that it's in him right now, and I don't know if that's ever going to show up. This is such a problem that DeMarcus did not close this game despite being arguably the Warriors' best offensive player in this contest. The person who did close the game, along with Iguodala, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry, was Damion Lee. Yes, G League call-up Damion Lee closes out, but Damion had a wonderful game. 12 points, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Gave a lot of solid effort. I don't know if he's a good defender, but he certainly tries hard on the defensive end. Plus 13 in this contest. And this is something that needed to happen for the Warriors. This is a top-heavy team. We have seen this bench deteriorate through a couple of, I would have to say, bad general managing moves, a bit of bad luck, and just the salary cap. This is what the salary cap is supposed to do. When you have superstars, the way that the Warriors have superstars, and they're making the money that they're supposed to be making, it squeezes out talent at the lower levels unless you draft exceptionally well. And Jacob Evans, the Warriors' first-round pick, is with Santa Cruz right now. Ironically, a guy who's not with Santa Cruz is a guy like Damion Lee. The Warriors have an extra roster spot that they did not use on the buyout market. Damion Lee might be the guy to fill that role. Certainly played his way into a position to be part of that consideration against the Sixers on Saturday. We'll see if they do anything, but Warriors do not have enough wing depth. They don't have enough shooting straight up off of the bench. Jonas Jerebko is not going to be that guy because he isn't he's not really a wing. Damion Lee, with his performance against the Sixers, you have to imagine that Bob Myers and Steve Kerr and everybody in the Warriors front office are going to consider bringing him up for April and May, and we'll see if they can get to June at this juncture. But man, Damion Lee, he can give you some spot minutes in the playoffs if Saturday night was any indication. Third thing we got to talk about, and I think this was the most important thing, because ultimately these games don't matter, and Kerr is signaling that through the constant resting of players. The fact that Klay Thompson didn't play, yes, he has an injury. The fact that Kevon Looney got a night off. They're resting guys. They know that it doesn't matter if they're the 2 seed or the 3 seed or the 8 seed, that if they're healthy in the playoffs, they feel extremely comfortable with their ability to beat anybody in the Western Conference bracket. And frankly, looking at the rest of the Western Conference, easy for me to say, they should feel that confident. But Iguodala has just been absolutely fantastic for the Golden State Warriors over the last couple of weeks. Frankly, I would say for the last couple of months, all year, just shy. He put on a virtuoso defensive performance against the Sixers on Saturday night. And man, at At a certain point, I've been wondering out loud, time and time again, will Andre Iguodala have enough left in the tank? This is a guy who took off entire regular seasons so that he could have enough in the tank for the postseason. I'm somewhat done doubting if Andre Iguodala is going to be able to pace himself. I think this is the norm. I think this is what we should expect for Andre Iguodala going forward. Kerr is obviously going to rest him probably more than others down the stretch because of those concerns that I've levied in previous weeks. But man, when you have a guy like Draymond Green, who I think is arguably the greatest defender in the history of the NBA, I think he's the Bill Russell of the modern NBA, and a guy like Andre Iguodala, who is as good as Draymond Green, but doesn't seem to get the credit because it's so deft in how he goes about his business. Man, the Warriors really have a 1-2 punch on that side of the court, and his offensive game has been excellent as well. Got to give some shouts to Andre Iguodala. He has been absolutely fantastic, and Saturday was one of his best games of the year, in my opinion. Warriors again win it 120 to 117, and guess what? They get to play another Eastern Conference opponent, and a pretty damn good one, in the Boston Celtics. That's next week. That's at Oracle Arena. We will talk from there after that game.